On the agenda tonight, we're going back in time on the channel to take a look at a video that I made the best part of 3 years ago on Eva Cassidy performing Over the Rainbow live in 1996. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, as you guys know, the analysis videos have moved on somewhat since a few years ago, but we'll take a look back at this one because a lot of you have let me know that the copyright status on that original performance video has changed, which means that the copyright owners now place adverts on the video and they take the ad revenue from those adverts. So we'll be at least able to look at it because previously it would have been blocked. So we'll get it up on screen. We'll travel back a few years to take a look at this video. I hope you guys enjoy it and I'll see you guys in the comment section. On the agenda tonight, we have Eva Cassidy, and this is going to be her performance of Over the Rainbow back in 1996. And this is one of those videos that, if you haven't seen it, go and watch the original video. The link is going to be in the description below, because this is one of those ones you just have to watch all the way through to really appreciate the full performance, because I will be stopping at halfway through in this analysis video. But let's get Eva up on screen and see how she gets on.
The rainbow way, the pine in the land that I heard of once in a somewhere over the rainbow skies, a blue wind, the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, oh, way above the chimney tops. That's where you find me.
I'm just going to jump in here because there is so much that is at a different level in this performance in terms of the vocal, also the playing. First of all, I'm just going to talk about Eva's voice because I say in my other videos about how the greatest singers have such a dynamic range to their voice, and the way that Eva's singing here, she's got such a light sound where she can go to such a quiet place on those vocal cords, so there's only just enough air to make them vibrate and get that sound out. But then if she wants to, she can lean into the sound as well, which of course gives such expression and such emotion with her singing because she's got the ability to do that. And you will hear a couple of times in this performance performance where those vocal cords do separate on a note because the sound is so light. And again, totally live here. That's what I love about this performance, is that it has these elements in there where you can hear and you can actually feel the vulnerability of Eva's voice, the way that it's so honest, and those times when it does just break apart, it just adds that human element to the performance. And the way that she just pushes the tempo and then pulls back on the tempo throughout the whole piece, dynamically, the way that she comes in louder with her fingerstyle playing when she's not singing, and then as soon as she is singing, she'll then really bring that guitar down in terms of her fingerstyle playing really a lot lighter on the strings. There's so many subtle elements in this performance that make it in an absolute class of its own. And let me just bring in this fingerstyle guitar playing, because this is something that will fly under the radar because we're just looking at Eva's face and we don't get to see the work on that guitar. And also, it's something that really does put it in perspective that we don't even need to see the guitar because it's so perfectly played. We can just get into the track. We can just get into the performance and the emotion and the delivery that Eva's putting down here. But the playing absolutely is top notch. I've had the pleasure of actually teaching this version to a few students, and if you have played this yourself on classical guitar or acoustic guitar, you'll know about the bar chords that are in here, the different voicings that we've got going on, some really great choices of chords here that Eva just doesn't go for the obvious chords. She throws in so many great variations, but also she has those counter melody lead lines with that little finger, the third finger, hammer-ons and pull-offs are in there. They're so subtle that you don't really notice them because you're just taken in by the art of the performance and just the whole emotion of the performance. If this doesn't move you emotionally, then there's something wrong with you, because it is such a great version. And when I say it's a great version of this song, it's because everybody's heard this song a million times, but to do it like this and almost make the song her own song, and it's like you are hearing it for the first time just because of the amazing arrangement, that ability on the guitar, but also the vocal delivery. She can go to so many different places with her voice. And this is something that has been mentioned in the past about during her career, maybe she didn't get a record deal because she wanted to sing in lots of different styles and lots of different genres. And record labels were just looking for someone that could just be a pop star. And then that was it. They didn't want a fully rounded artist who could sing jazz, who could sing pop, who could sing blues. And Eva was one of those players and singers who could cover so many different genres. So she really just wanted to go down her own avenue. And that is a true artist, somebody that doesn't want to sell out and doesn't get pulled in by those dollar signs, but says, I just want to make music my own way and cover songs the way that I want to cover songs. And it's great that we've got this footage that was recorded. Brian McCulley filmed this on the night, and the sound quality is great because it was being put together for an album that Eva and her manager had decided that they were going to do. That was also Chris Biondo, who was a producer that Eva knew. But the reason that this all came about, this gig and this recording, is because Eva was due to sign a record deal with Apollo Records before this, and unfortunately Apollo Records went bankrupt, so that all fell through. And after that, her manager and, as I just mentioned, Chris Biondo, they said, well, let's just get down a live album, let's just release something that way. So once they decided that they were going to make this live album, they were going to call it Live at Blues Alley, because that's the venue that Eva is performing at that we can see in this video. So it was all set up to record. They were going to do it over 2 nights, and they did record over 2 nights. But unfortunately, the first night they had technical problems and all of the audio from that was lost. So the album was to be made up of all the songs that she played on this night. So they took 12 of the tracks. She did perform 31 in all on this evening that we're looking at, and that was eventually released in 2015, all of the tracks, and that was on the Nightbird album. But let's watch the second half of the performance.
wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Where troubles melt like lemon drops, oh, way above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. If happy little bluebirds fly above the rainbow wide, oh, why can't I?
And there it is. And if that performance doesn't do anything to you, then there's something wrong with you, because what a performance. And it's something that it even flies under the radar that it's live. You forget that this is just a girl with a guitar, just such great delivery, but such great control of her voice. Just the way that she leans into the sound and then just really lightens off the sound and almost goes to a breathy sound from that really connected sound. It's just such a great range of dynamics and just really covers so much emotion in that voice. But getting to her playing as well, that lead solo that we have, if you do play guitar yourself and you've tried that, you'll know exactly how difficult it is to get those bar chords to be so clean, so pristine. And of course, Eva makes it look easy, but because she plays it so well, you're not even really noticing. Because it's so great, you don't notice how difficult it is, but until you actually learn to play it yourself, you think, oh, actually, there's quite a lot going on here. And interestingly, once they'd decided on those 12 tracks from this evening's performance to put on that live album, Eva wasn't sure about releasing it because she actually had a cold at the time and she didn't think her vocals were that good. Of course, anybody else watching it would just say it's absolutely amazing. And I like the fact that there is a little break in her voice because it gives it that human element, that vulnerability, and you can connect to that. But Eva eventually came around to the idea under the condition that they start work on a new album after they release the live album, and also that on the live album she had the track Had I a Golden Thread, which was her favourite track. And Eva was such a talented artist and never really got that big break during her career. She would literally sell tapes out of the back of her car when she was gigging. So everybody, I'm sure, knows the story that unfortunately later on in 1996, from when this video was shot, she died from cancer in November of 1996. And a few years earlier, she did have a malignant mole removed. And a few years later, then she had a problem with her hip. And they did a scan and then found that she'd actually fractured her hip. It was actually the cancer was now, I think, in the bones and also in her chest. So it had spread, and unfortunately, she didn't then have long left. She was actually still performing up to 6 weeks up until her death, and that was just in front of friends and family because I think they knew that she wasn't going to be around for very long. And it's a really sad story. Again, she was only 33, so an artist that was taken so early, and really, after her death is when people started to take notice. In 1998, the compilation album called Songbird was released, and that included some of her earlier work with Chuck Brown in 1992, but also included songs from this evening's performance, and also the material from that new studio album that she got into recording after this live album was released. So this track, this performance, was already on the album, out there for people to buy and listen to, but unfortunately, like Eva experienced throughout her career, she never got that big break and never got that exposure, where in the year 2000, finally, a guy called Terry Wogan, who was a DJ here in the UK, unfortunately he's passed on now, but he was a DJ for BBC Radio 2, and he played Eva's version of Over the Rainbow, and everyone went crazy for it. As you can imagine, just watching this, you can tell it's a class apart. And after getting that airplay, it sold over 100,000 copies. There was also a documentary in this country that was called Tonight with Trevor McDonald, and that featured Eva as well. So the amount of demand that was out there for Eva, and just hearing more of her singing, just seeing more of the performances. There's a show called Top of the Pops 2 that we used to have here as well, and Eva's video was the most requested video that they've ever had. And this is where Brian's footage came in, where now there was a video of this performance that everyone had been listening to, and finally Eva had got that exposure and everyone could see what a great artist she was. And it just took a little bit of time for people to latch onto it, and unfortunately she's not here anymore, but what an amazing talent. And it's great that we've got this, and we've got her songs to be able to listen back to. And she has been described as having one of the greatest voices of her generation, and it's amazing to think that there's this amount of talent that was unknown. She was just playing pubs and clubs, and I'm sure that if her life wasn't so unfairly cut short, that she would have gone on to massive things, because you can just tell in this performance that she's a star, and she's just an absolute different class of performer, but also instrumentalist, the way that she plays that guitar. But thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock.